Yo, I'm Luke Cage. You wanna test me? You know where to find me.
Alem is mine.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Multiverse. Wes here, back with another video, and today we're going to be doing a full breakdown of the Luke Cage Season 2 Trailer 1. But before we get into it, this video will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen Luke Cage Season 1, I suggest you wait to watch this breakdown as it will likely contain spoilers. Be sure to enter our monthly giveaway. For this month, we're going to be giving away 10 tickets to see the Han Solo movie. It's really easy to enter. All you have to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on for a chance to win. Leave a comment on why you want to win with your Twitter handle attached, and I will pick the winner at the end of the month. Good luck. So to really quickly recap what happened at the end of Season 1, Shades and Mariah Dillard attempt to bribe Luke Cage with documents proving that he was framed by Diamondback, but then Diamondback shows up and stops that with a grenade through the door. Luke and Diamondback have an epic fight in the middle of the street, with Luke eventually winning over the crowd and Diamondback. Now Misty tells everyone that he's a good guy and then arrests Mariah Dillard for killing her cousin Cottonmouth by using the evidence from the waitress. Now the waitress gets a text from Misty to meet her and ends up being Shades, who puts a bullet in her head, making it so Mariah gets to walk away scot-free. Now Luke Cage doesn't get arrested in New York because they found out that it was Diamondback doing all the havoc in Harlem instead of Luke Cage, but eventually they go back to the precinct and then some feds show up and they actually arrested Luke Cage because they found out that he was actually Carl Lucas, who is the escaped convict from the Seagate Penitentiary. Luckily, the files proving his innocence were left at the barbershop during the explosion and were found by Bobby Fischer, who will most likely give the files to Misty. Therefore, Luke is going to be a free man in Season 2. Now that you guys are caught up, let's get into the new trailer. So the trailer starts off with Luke Cage coming out of an exploding trailer that looks like it was kind of a public service announcement for all the thugs of Harlem that he's not going anywhere, and if they want to test him, then they can come find him. I also find it extremely amusing that they used an exploding tractor trailer to kind of foreshadow how lit this trailer actually is. Now as the video continues, we hear a voice that may sound familiar to you.
A bulletproof black man. For the hard rocks, he's a ghetto boogeyman of their nightmares.
And my first instinct was it was Bobby Fischer talking, but it's actually of the actor Reg E. Cathey, who actually died after filming the second season. Now, Reg E. Cathey was casted to play Luke Cage's father, James Lucas. So we have this voice of Reverend James Lucas talking about his son Luke Cage, and that he is known as the bulletproof black man and the ghetto boogeyman. So just from his tone of voice and his demeanor, it seems like that Luke and his father are still not in good terms. So maybe Luke is going to see his dad about the events that happened last season. So we know from last season that Diamondback, or Willis Stryker, is the illegitimate son of James Lucas. So like I said, I'm guessing that he goes to see his dad to try to get answers on if what Diamondback says is actually true. Now maybe we're going to see Luke and his father, kind of rekindle their relationship, since the world now knows that Luke was innocent from the start. But that's kind of unlikely. I doubt Luke would even give his dad a chance to rekindle the relationship because his dad cheated on his mom. So the odds in that happening are very unlikely. And then we see Luke walking down the street when he gets hit with a brutal uppercut, which is our first introduction to the new villain called Bushmaster, who we find out is just as bulletproof and strong as Luke Cage. Now the only thing that separates the two is Bushmaster knows capoeira, which is a form of martial arts, and Luke Cage is kind of just a walking bullet sponge. Now this fight had Luke completely shook, which is probably why he will be enlisting the help of Danny Rand, aka the Iron Fist, throughout the season. So it's pretty safe to say we can expect a big crossover this season. To give you a bit of context and insight on who Bushmaster is and how he got his powers, he was actually two different people in the comics, but this one is probably using the John McIver version. Now he got his powers from the super soldier serum during his time at Seagate Prison from Dr. Noah Bernstein, aka the same doctor who gave Luke his powers. So Bushmaster most likely coerced Noah Bernstein into utilizing the super soldier serum on Bushmaster so that he could get his powers. And from the comics, it said that Bushmaster actually coerced Noah Bernstein into utilizing the super soldier serum process on him to an even greater extent than what was used on Luke Cage. And fun fact, the cause of death of Bushmaster in the comics was actually a backfire of the super soldier serum not being really compatible with his body, because we know Luke Cage, whenever he had the Power Man process done to him at Seagate Penitentiary, the Power Man process was a success because his body was compatible. It had the exact opposite effect. Whenever Bushmaster did the Power Man process, he turned into a badass for a little bit and eventually turned into a permanently immobilized statue, thus killing Bushmaster because of the incompatibility. Now, the next part of the trailer shows Mariah and Shades back on her mission to be the queen pin of Harlem. I imagine that Misty Knight is still going to try to put Mariah behind bars because she did kill her cousin Cottonmouth. So I'm curious about how that narrative is going to play out. Is Mariah going to go to prison? Is Misty not going to find any more evidence to put away Mariah? Or is Shades going to get caught for actually killing the waitress? I highly doubt it, but I'm very curious to see how it's going to play out in this new season. And then on the next scene, we see this picture of Misty Knight looking at a bionic arm schematic that has a Rand Enterprises logo at the bottom. Now, I thought this might be Tony Stark that was going to create the bionic arm for her, but that puts all that speculation to rest, and it's actually going to be Rand Enterprises, which I also suspected because, let's be honest, she was actually being treated at the hospital that Danny Rand bought, so it only seems fitting that Rand Enterprises creates the arm, which kind of further confirms the crossover that we're probably going to get in this new season of Luke Cage. And then at the end of the trailer, we actually see the bionic arm in action, which looks really cool. So the Detective Knight that we got in the last season is going to be the badass Detective Knight with the bionic arm in this season. So I briefly talked earlier about a crossover that I think is going to happen with Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And I think Danny Rand is actually going to come help Luke Cage learn some martial arts. We know that Bushmaster knows martial arts just from the trailer. The dude knows Kung Fu. And we know Iron Fist is an expert at Kung Fu. So my guess is Iron Fist is going to help teach Luke Cage some of his moves so that he can further try to defeat the new threat that is Bushmaster. There's a couple photos from set that show that Mike Coulter and Finn Jones are actually what looks to be practicing Kung Fu. So if my theory's right, we're going to get a nice crossover that showcases Iron Fist coming to Harlem, teaching Luke Cage some Kung Fu, and also probably delivering the bionic arm for Misty Knight. Either way, like I said, the trailer was awesome. I can't wait to see this in June 22nd, which is super close to Comic-Con, so we might actually see some stuff about the Daredevil Season 3 at the end of Luke Cage Season 2. But that's going to be all for this video, guys. Let us know what you thought of it in the comment section below. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also leave some suggestions on what you guys want for future videos. We're doing list videos, we're doing speculation, we're doing news and information, trailer breakdowns, and a bunch of other stuff. But if you guys have anything you guys want on the channel, be sure to let us know down below. And yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up with this video. This has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys next time in the Multiverse.